You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Happy Friday. Welcome and thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world. We are thrilled to have you here. You are watching Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. Lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I'm thrilled to have you here today. A little information about how our program works. I have hand-selected a group of charter presenters. I consider them to be top in their field, experts, leaders, people that can teach us things to make us better personally and professionally. Today, I am joined by Philip Sykes from the British School of Etiquette. We are thrilled that he is here today. He has so much knowledge to share with us, and I will be bringing him out in just a moment. What will happen is Philip will come on. He will introduce himself and give us a little bit of background, and then I will spotlight him for his 15-minute lesson. We'll put up a timer, and then he'll share his wisdom with us. Then I will come back and have a conversation about what I learned from the lesson. Without further ado, let's bring Philip onto the program with us. Hello, Philip.
Good day to you, Jacalyn. Dr. Jacalyn, lovely to see you. What a joy, and thank you as always for this wonderful opportunity to engage with you. It's always a delight and your wonderful listeners.
Well, thank you very much. We are pleased and thrilled that you are one of our charter presenters. I really have the utmost respect for you, and I'm so glad that we were able to meet on another program. And so we just continue collaborating. Today, we are live streaming on Business Talk Radio as well as social media. We are on 5 Facebook pages, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. After our show streams live, it then becomes a podcast. And so we are on 11 platforms altogether. This is Lessons from the Best, and you are certainly one of them. I'm going to highlight you. Just give us a little bit of information before your presentation about who you are, about the British School of Etiquette, and what your lesson will be on today.
Certainly. And thanks for this privilege and opportunity once again. As it says in the title, my name is Philip Sykes, and I'm the founder and principal of the British School of Etiquette. I've been very blessed through my life to go on many journeys, some good, some bad, learning experiences, learning curves. I was born into a family that was very stringent and strict with etiquette and manners, with lots of love. And again, I was fortunate enough to go to a school which just topped that up. And the school motto was very much manners maketh the man or woman. Today, I would love to take you on a journey to give you some understanding of the power and the importance of etiquette and manners. And I use that word strongly, the power of etiquette and manners, because I truly believe, and I know, because everything I share with you, I implement into my life, and it opens doors. It opens doors wherever you go. One thing I want to make very, very clear to you wonderful people out there is the British School of Etiquette was not put together because, oh, England, we have the best manners in the world. I can well assure all of you out there, just like everywhere in the world, we all need etiquette and we all need manners and we all need coaching, guiding and steering. Now, the British School of Etiquette was put together with the brand name because England is or was synonymous with etiquette and manners. We were purely put together to bring cultures together, to learn from one another, so we could understand each other better and to take the good from one another's cultures and implement it into our lives. The second thing I want to make very clear, and that is there's one race, and that's the human race. And this is what this is all about. We are preparing right now for our generations to come. If we can all make a big difference in this world now and forever, we can really do some unbelievable things just by doing some of the things that I would love to share with you today. So what I'd love to do is put this flesh on the bone and give you the understanding that having good etiquette and manners is a lifestyle. It's a way of life. You don't just one moment walk into a room and act all in the proper sense and that sort of thing. And then once that's all over, you go back to being the old you and like a floppy rag doll. This is not what this is about. This is about implementing consistency into your life. And the other thing I want to share with you is when you've got good etiquette and manners, doesn't mean you can't have a great sense of humor, you can't joke, you can't be funny, you can't, literally what I say, suck the marrow out of life. This is what this is all about. So I'm looking forward to engaging with all of you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. This is going to be so exciting because I think it's really important. I personally want to know the difference between etiquette and manners and implement as much as I can in my own life. So, Philip, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back, and then we'll spotlight you for your presentation, okay?
Super. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay with us here on A Better You.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Root, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
It's what we do together that counts. The Big Alliance story. A true story about faith over adversity, perseverance, and entrepreneurship. Read Earl's story and how he became an entrepreneur. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible.com. For more information, contact Earl Hurd at earlhurd@bigalliance.com or call 1-800-460-4242.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. I'm here with our charter presenter, Philip Sykes, and we actually have a message. We have a comment from Ian. Hi, Ian. How are you today? It's always good to hear from you. He writes, a brilliant person who has impeccable understanding of etiquette. Philip has worked with the royal family and works with both adults and children, inspiring their values and making the world a happier and more polite world. That's wonderful. Thank you, Ian. Thank you for that beautiful testimonial about Philip. All right. Are you ready to go?
Ready to go. Ready.
Okay. I'm going to spotlight you, and I'm going to put up the 15-minute timer. Just give me a moment. And of course, if you run over, that's fine. It's just a guide. And here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to this great occasion on me taking you on a journey of putting some flesh on the bone on what etiquette and manners really are all about, in my opinion. And this is something that I have to share with all of you, that I implement into my life every moment of my day. And it really starts with, firstly, if any of you have a pen right now, or you're able to type something into your phone or your laptop or iPad or whatever you have, firstly, I want you to write down a little note to yourself, and that is, I am my brand. That's number one. I am my brand. Second thing I want you to write down is, I would like to be the person that I would like to meet. Think about that. I'd like to be the person that I would like to meet, because this is what this is all about. Thirdly, write down, nothing is ever achieved unless truly first imagined. Think about that. How do you see yourself? How do you want to be? How do you perceive yourself going forward in your life? Everything you do now will have a long-term effect on your future. This is what this is all about. So what I would love to do is I'd love to just share with some of you about what is etiquette and what is manners. So for me, good manners are all about courtesy, politeness, and how we respect ourselves and how we respect other people. And good manners is very much considering, and I want you to think about this, good manners is very much considering the feelings of other people and being the kind of person, this goes back to exactly what I've said, be the kind of person that others will like and respect. That's you. That's exactly how I want you to see yourself. If you have respect for other people, then you're far more likely to be treated with respect by them in return. So if we show good manners everywhere we go, then you're far more likely to encourage others to behave in the same way toward you. This has such a profound, wonderful effect. Think about how you connect and engage with people, and think what you get in return a lot of the time. So that for me is a summary of good manners. And when it comes to good etiquette, etiquette is more defined as the set of rules or the customs that really control accepted behavior in our particular social groups, in our business groups, or pretty much wherever we sort of engage with people from all over the world. Okay. And for me, I think it's very much about understanding that manners and etiquette are very, very, very similar sort of things. They are bedfellows. They belong together. So manners for me are very much the guiding principles of respect and social interaction. And etiquette is the unwritten code of exact rules. For example, I would love to sum that up and say sort of manners respect your inner self, whereas etiquette is what and how you portray yourself in public. One represents the way of acting, and the other is how do I treat others. So really understand that this is a very core part of etiquette and manners. Now, again, etiquette and manners, for those of you out there who think it's only for the smart people, or as we use the term here in the United Kingdom, posh people, you're so wrong. This is for everybody. I'm a big believer in the fact that if you have good etiquette and manners, and I do bring into play here, for those of you who know the term EQ, so emotional intelligence, self-control, self-motivation, empathy, and the likes of those that fall under the EQ banner. When you bring those all together, you really will have a phenomenal platform to elevate yourself from. And this is for everybody. So you can come from the favelas of Brazil to the squatter camps in Africa, to the slums of India, to the poorest parts of your own country, wherever we are in the world. And I truly know for a fact that when you take on good etiquette and manners and you implement them into your life, you can soar like an eagle. I truly 100%, I've seen it, I present it. We have people changing their lives daily that come through our organization, whether it be in relationships, families, businesses, it is the whole circle. So for me, it really is important that all of you understand the power of etiquette and manners coupled with EQ. The next thing I would love to share with all of you is the power of gratitude. Gratitude is something, when we run our coaching program, I often get people to write down what are they grateful for. Do any of you ever go on a gratitude journey? Do any of you ever stop and pray and realize how blessed and fortunate we really are? Because this is something that turned my life around many, many years ago. And it was understanding the power of gratitude. So there's not a day that I don't get out of bed and put my 2 feet on the floor and say, thank you. And I list a whole lot of things. And I said, thank you this morning to be on the Dr. Jacalyn show today. It really is something I'm hugely grateful for this glass of water, for the roof above my head. I want you all to understand the power of this, because this will absolutely help you with your mindset. I want you to understand that etiquette and manners, not just about the head, it's the head and the heart. They are connected, okay? So you need to go through life really thinking of the power of etiquette and manners when it comes to not just yourself, but other people. Now, there's that golden rule that people often talk about. It's been around. Confucius was a gentleman back in the 556 AD. He came up with this philosophy, do unto others as you wish them to do unto you. And this has really got a profound, phenomenal sentence. It's a wonderful expression. And when we understand it, I need you to dig a little bit deeper here and think about, so that's always been named the golden rule or the golden key. I need you to understand that this is so much more powerful in every sense of the word. Think about the platinum rule. The platinum rule. So not everyone wants to be treated in the same way that you are, that the way you treat yourself. Okay, think about the platinum rule and treat other people the way they would like to be treated. Then go back to being you. This is the great power of understanding how we connect and engage with people, because not everyone wants to be treated exactly the same way as you. So think about that, because this is a golden key right now, and we're upping it to the platinum rule. Now, for all of you out there, there's something I really love to share with students, and we go through this. And some of you may have heard this phrase before. This is a phrase based on Clarence Thomas's phrase called "Good manners will open doors that the best education cannot." I love it. I think it's absolutely 100% true. However, I'm going to share with all of you that I would change that ever so slightly. I would add "good manners will often open doors that the best education cannot," or "good manners will more than likely open doors that the best education cannot." Because educate yourself. Go out there and learn. Go out there and find things that can teach you as much as you can absorb. What someone once shared with me, and they said, "Philip, show me a successful individual and I will show you their library." And I just absolutely love that. I think it is profound. It's phenomenal. But I'm going to contradict myself. When you've got good etiquette and manners, you can soar like an eagle. You can knock on doors and doors open for you. And it's a known fact. Many, many years ago, they did research in the United States of America with 2 million people. And out of those 2 million people, they discovered people who had far more dynamic etiquette and manners and EQ are more likely to earn between $25,000 and $35,000 a year more than their counterparts who don't have good manners, etiquette, and emotional intelligence. So think about that. Think of this as the power of etiquette and manners. Now, again, moving on and putting some flesh on the bone, I want you all to write down or think about this word, the 6-second rule. Think about it. Sometimes we act and then we react, or someone triggers us and then we act or we react. The 6-second rule is one of the most key ingredients we can incorporate into our lives, because this gives you an opportunity to really understand. Do not let your mood, think about this, do not let your mood dictate your manners. Too easily said than done. It puts a smile on my face, because every moment of the day, you have to take control of that. It happens to all of us. So please understand, if someone triggers you, or if someone's upset you, or something's happened, stop, pause, just for 6 seconds. Maybe sometimes you need a bit longer to cool off, and then engage with who you have to engage with. This will help you exponentially. You know, when we run our Etiquette program, which starts from the age of 5.5, 6 years old, it's one of the key ingredients we share with these youngsters. And we get parents coming back to us and saying, that was like gold, thank you. And so much so that parents have ended up coming on various programs just because their child had attended the Etiquette program and we taught them this specific thing. And I go on to sort of, I mean, we dig a lot deeper on this in more flesh on the bone. And again, I think one of the areas that really sort of inspires me is the test of good manners is to be patient with the bad ones. We're going to come into times where we're going to have people who really push back, they're ill-mannered, they're rude toward us. Always take the higher ground. Use your 6-second rule and kill them with this beautiful manners and etiquette and kindness. Someone once asked me, they said, "Philip, give us an understanding in layman terms of etiquette and manners and what you stand for." And I said, well, 4 things I want to share. And that is, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, number 1. Number 2 is having good etiquette and manners is it gives you the ability to put people at ease in a very short space of time. Make people feel comfortable in your environment and your presence. Number 3 was have a what can I do for you attitude. How can I do? What can I do? And this is where Dr. Jacalyn is just so unbelievable. It's all about helping people. What can I do for you? How can I support you? And it's literally having that what can I do for you attitude. It's phenomenal. And one that I really love sharing is that if we all do a random act of kindness on a daily basis, or a random act of goodness, or a random act of just being thoughtful, we may just set the world in the right direction. And I truly believe this. I wholeheartedly believe this. So make an effort each day to go out of your way to do something along those lines. It really is an unbelievable feeling. It elevates you. It gives you this unbelievable feeling, and it can change your mood from being a bit of a dull mood into something quite wonderful, warm, and amazing. Okay, and again, moving on, we have a term at the school that you can get through life with bad manners, but it's so much easier with good manners. And an analogy I love sharing with our students is here in the United Kingdom, if you have a credit card, bear with me for a second. If you have a credit card, and you are able to pay your credit card off on time, then you don't get interest. But if you don't pay on time, then what happens is you get a fine. And you pick up your credit card statement, you get very frustrated, and you throw that damn receipt on the table. You think, drat, I got a $20 fine or £20 fine. So you pick up the phone in the moment and you start barking down the phone at the person who answers the phone. Yes, my name's Philip, and I've been fined £20. I know my timing was late here, and could you give me a refund? And they turn around and say, sorry, sir, terms and conditions, we can't give you a refund. You phone back a day later, and the likelihood of you getting the same telephone person on the other end is very unlikely. And it goes along the following lines. Hello, Jennifer. Yes, it's Philip Sykes speaking. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. Out of interest, you'll notice on my credit card statement, I failed to pay on time this month, and rightly so, you fined me. I was wondering if on any occasion, I've been a client of yours for a period of time, would you be able to consider refunding my $20 or $30 that you fined me? One moment, sir. I've just spoken to my supervisor, and it'll be an absolute pleasure. We'll refund you, and I'll show your next statement. So I really want you all to think long and hard about how important this is. Stop, think, take time out. Use your 6-second rule, because if you have an action, you're going to get a reaction. And again, on that note, for a lot of us out there, is don't forget that when we speak, we give life to our words. So when you say something negative or horrible or nasty, you're giving life to your words. Okay? Stop and think before you say something. If you can't say anything nice or kind or caring, don't say it at all. Too many of us trigger. We say words that we then regret. Well, I'll take that back. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Meanwhile, those words are out there. They're alive. And don't forget, your words also, when they've been heard, start setting you up. Oh, I'm going to lose my job. Oh, life is tough. Think about that as well. And again, on this particular front, think about your etiquette and manners on your social media and the power of your etiquette and manners on social media. You can do so much good, but you can do moments, seconds damage just because of the heat of the moment, just because you shared an opinion, just because you said something untoward. And that can trip you up, and it could trip you up for the rest of your life. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I think, this is something that I really share from the bottom of my heart to all of you. And I want to sort of sum up by sharing with all of you 6 areas or benefits that etiquette and manners deliver hands down, time and time again. Firstly, they help you earn respect. That's number 1. Secondly, they charm your personality. Thirdly, they make relationships smoother. Fourthly, they increase confidence. They really do increase confidence. Fifthly, they keep you motivated and happy. And finally, they also impart strength so that you can digest failure. We learn from our mistakes, we pick ourselves up, and we move forward. So I hope that in summary, that you will understand the power of etiquette and manners. Incorporate a 6-second rule into your life. Understand it's not just about you. It's about who's around you. Bring on board your situational awareness, having a what can I do for you attitude, and go out there and elevate yourself. Act as you want to become. Put your best foot forward. Put your best foot forward, and you will see doors will start to open for you. You'll see amazing things start to take place. So from me to all of you out there, wherever you are in the world, the power of etiquette and manners, incorporating your emotional intelligence, will change your life, not just right now, but forever, and all those people around you. If you implement this, you share and you guide and you help other people, the world becomes your oyster. So I'm sending you all a very big virtual hug, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope you found some of those tools that I shared with you, putting some flesh on the bone, very useful. So thank you.
That was truly exceptional. You are a phenomenal presenter. I love your posture, how you carry yourself, and no notes. You just delivered the information so confidently. I have, I think, 3 pages of notes that I took here. So I learned so much from you. One thing that came to mind, you really hit on something for me. I remember calling a local cable company because the cable was out or the Wi-Fi was down. And, you get put in this queue and you're waiting sometimes 30, 40 minutes. And by the time the person answers the phone, you're already just at your wit's end. And I took it out on the woman and I felt really horrible about myself. And so it ended up, she wouldn't help me. So I don't know if she could or she couldn't, but she didn't. So I hung up and I thought, okay, I'm just going to have to calm myself down. And I felt worse about myself because now I put that on the poor woman. It wasn't her fault that the cable's out. So I think that 6-second rule is something that we all really need to be aware of. I also think when you talked about gratitude and when your feet hit the ground, I do something similar. I'm very thankful for so many things and I try to list all of them and I thank God that I'm here. And so I think when you have that kind of attitude and you have positive affirmations, it really does make a huge difference. I loved how you shared with us what the difference between manners and etiquette and why they're both important for EQ. And I thought that was extremely interesting that if you have good etiquette and manners, that you're likely to earn $25,000 to $35,000 more based on a study that was done. So I wasn't aware of that either. I love the idea of the head and the heart being connected. And if you lead with grace and you're kind to other people, regardless of how they're treating you, that you'll feel better about yourself and you'll have more respect for yourself and people will respect you. One thing I'd like to just chat about with you is I think it's hard for most people, if someone is disrespectful to you, you immediately get your back up, you want to react. So aside from the 6-second rule, I always, and I'm wondering what you think about this, I try to put myself in the other person's shoes and think about maybe their life is not what they want it to be. Maybe they're in pain. What do you think about that?
Dr. Jacalyn, this is something we share with all our students because we judge someone within 3 to 6 seconds. It's boom, it's instant. And the subconscious and the conscious, your subconscious is 1,000 times more powerful than your conscious. So this is the part of your brain that actually, we haven't had a reboot or an upgrade as human beings. So there's a part of our brain that's instantly there to protect us. So if someone's not similar to you or we're not sort of in that sort of vicinity that we're familiar with, immediately, boom, we judge. It's a known fact. It's that fight or flight mentality that we've all got innate in us. And this takes huge practice. And it is, I just love that we share with our students, never judge a book by its cover and always put your feet in someone else's shoes. You never know what's going on with another person. You have no idea. No one in a million years is ever going to read anyone's mind. Trust me on that one. And so, for example, if I walked in here with my arm in a sling and you said, "Oh, Philip, what happened?" I said, "Oh, Dr. Jack, I fell off my stupid horse and I've hurt my arm, blah, blah." You said, "Oh, I hope it's okay. I hope you're getting better, blah, blah, blah." But if I walk in here with someone breakdancing inside my stomach, literally butterflies going everywhere, and I'm standing and I'm putting on a brave face and I'm really well today, thank you so much. And meanwhile, I'm ready to, literally pass out from nerves and anxiousness or burst into tears or whatever it might be. This is something I want every single one out there listening to this. And it actually makes my eyes well up with water because it is so important that we don't go down the road of judging other people. Look, obviously, if someone's got a weapon or something, you do get the heck out of there, of course. But give people that opportunity. Make it a goal of yours not to judge people. Put your feet in someone else's shoes and actually challenge yourself to connect with people that are maybe not similar to you or your so-called circle that you've always been used to connecting with. And you'll be amazed at some people that you're going to find and friendships that you can develop. And if I had you all in front of me, I'd ask you to raise your hand. How many of us have misjudged somebody and they've actually become a good friend or a business person or something amazing's happened? And, Dr. Jacalyn, on this note, I coin a phrase of your one person, one opportunity can change your life for the rest of your life. And if you misjudge or just take something in the heat of the moment and you read it wrong, you can actually trip yourself up. You can bring yourself to, you can burn an opportunity. And it does take practice. So the 6-second rule, okay, my initial reaction inside is boom. And don't forget the power of our body language. I mean, our body actually can, way before you even open your mouth, can give off communication. It does. We communicate, let me share with all of you, only 7% of the spoken word. Only 7% of the spoken word. The rest is tonality and body language. 55% tonality, 33% 35% body language, 33% tonality, and that's 7% if my maths is right. That is the power of we as human beings. And someone, I read a lovely phrase the other day, I need to teach my face to listen to my inside voice. Think about that. Because let me tell you, all of us know, mum just has to give us one look and we know, oh, I'm in trouble. I better duck. I better get out of here. Think about it. Our facial expression and our body language, boom, can trip you up in a split second. So really, you have to be very, very present in everything you do. And this is where I think a lot of people fall down. We're not present. We're on our phone. We're thinking who's going to call us next. We're thinking about the next question. We're thinking about what I have to do in half an hour from now. And we're not present. We're not in the moment. And this will stand you in the most incredible stead if you start to take action on this.
Brilliant. Very, very poignant. Thank you for sharing that. A personal share that I want to reveal. Since I started broadcasting, I've had a number of people on social media who have sent me inappropriate pictures. And so in that case, it's easy to block those people. But I've also had, from one of the platforms we stream to, I've had people who have sent me also inappropriate things while I'm live on the air. And so I remember the first time this happened, this one person, in the comments sent 7 pictures that I'm not even going to go into, and it really rattled me. And so I was live and I said, excuse me on this platform, please stop contacting us. We're not interested in what it is that you have to offer. And later I was so mad at myself because I let that person get to me. And I should have said to myself, just ignore it. That's person's issue. It's not mine. And so I just want to share with people that when someone does something to us that it doesn't feel good, the way we react can say a lot about ourselves and how we feel. So I gave that guy my power, and I'm assuming it's a guy. But so I think that we have to take the time to not react, as you said. I think it's so important, and then think about who knows whatever that person has going on in their life, but it's not my problem, and just let it go.
Those words are gold, just what Dr. Jacalyn shared to all of you listeners out there. It is. We often get so quickly consumed by someone else's words, someone else's, what they've written or shared with us, or how they behave toward us. You really need to stop, pause, and take on board and take into account everything from all the perspectives and this is something, the old adage in life, monkey see, monkey do. And I know it sounds very sort of, I don't know, antiquated in that approach, but it is whatever you've grown up and you've seen in being brought up. Unfortunately, it's going to affect you whether you like it or not. So the beautiful thing is about etiquette and manners and emotional intelligence is that you can rewire your brain. You really and truly can. You can absolutely wholeheartedly on our Leading with Emotional Intelligence program, which is a top market leader accredited by the Institute of Leadership and Management out of the UK. It's a continued professional development program. It adds about 25 odd hours to your CPD if you've got to do CPD each year. But it's one of the most phenomenal programs. And when I share with all of you, I can tell stories that will bring me to tears right now because of the shift and change in people, and only for the better. Their lives, their relationships, their businesses, whatever it might be, have been affected. They've tripped themselves up because of their past and because of the way they behave, the way they react. And through our 7-week program, Leading with EQ, people's lives literally change with. It just makes me the happiest person in the world. And here we at the British School of Etiquette, we eat and breathe and live everything that we deliver to our amazing audience from all over the world.
Philip, I hope you will definitely be coming back with more lessons because I'm learning so much. And one thing that I'm really interested in also is the difference in etiquette in cultures, in the US or the UK and other parts of the world. And when you travel and meet people from different parts of the world, how should you act? What should you say, not say? What are customs that are appropriate and inappropriate? For people who are listening on the radio and they're not able to see the banner and they want to contact you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
I think the best way would be an initial email, which is hello, very long-winded word, at the British School of Etiquette.com. We've got wonderful social media platforms, Facebook, obviously Twitter. We've got a wonderful YouTube channel with great material on there, so engage with that. And we have an Instagram account. We have LinkedIn. So there are many routes for you to connect with us. But if any of you ever want to have a conversation, I do make my time very available, as Dr. Jacalyn I know does, to so many wonderful people out there. So if you ever need to have a chat, and funny enough, Dr. Jacalyn, on the last show I was very privileged to be on with you. We had an amazing gentleman who went to a school not far from where I'm based at St. John's Beaumont, which is a Jesuit school here. And he wrote such a lovely email to me, and I hope the gentleman's listening, and I do apologize. I haven't replied to your email as yet. It is on my to-do list, but it was so thoughtful to send me a lovely email, and how he has really carried the etiquette and manners that's school instilled in him right through his life, and how it's just opened doors for him in his own capacity. So a really real testament. So thank you.
I love that. I love when people are connecting, and the fact that he reached out. I actually know who it is. It's another one of our charter presenters. May I ask you a question before you go?
Certainly.
Before we end the show. So I'm wondering, and I was just thinking this person, because this person is an expert in the area of grammar, and I've been guilty of this. And so manners and etiquette, if someone doesn't use proper grammar, is it ever appropriate to correct them?
Oh, it's a good question. My mum corrects me all the time, Dr. Jacalyn. and you know what? I actually thank her for it. I genuinely do, because it's through repetition. I suppose if you don't know the individual and you're sort of lending them a hand, you could always say, I believe you say that in a particular, this sort of way or that sort of way. It depends on the company and how comfortable you feel with that individual. Because I think it's amazing to know the right thing to do or the right way to say something. It doesn't matter what sort of accent you have, but it is, I think, appropriate to speak accordingly and appropriately. So, for example, and again, this is no disrespect to any nationality or nation, but so many people say, so how are you today, John? I'm good, thank you. Well, what are you good at? So I'm good is actually not the correct answer to how are you today. I'm very well, thank you. Or I'm fine, thank you. But that is really the appropriate way to answer that particular question. Now, the world over, I've seen top global presenters. I'm good. I'm good. How are you today? I'm good. And unfortunately, it's become a very known phrase and the nice to meet you as well is actually not. I mean, I'm not here to give anyone an English lesson, but if I've never met you before, Dr. Jane, say, oh, nice to meet you, and then afterwards I turn around and say, crumbs, it wasn't nice to meet her at all. The nice to meet you, it's lovely, it's warm, and it's friendly, and please, I'm not going to try and change anyone on the nice to meet you, because it is endearing. But think about it on a practical sense. Nice to meet you. If we've met through a telephone call or an email, then we can say, oh, finally, it's nice to meet you. But going back to, it's a bit stuffy, the British way would be, Philip, how do you do? And you would reciprocate, Dr. Jacalyn, how do you do? So it's rhetorical. Then we would go into, how's your day going? How's the weather in your part of the world? And we start breaking into the small talk. And that's the power of small talk. It's huge power in small talk. It's obviously part of one of our social etiquette curriculum. But if you don't want to come across as pompous or arrogant, you could just say, hello, my name is Philip. How are you today? And then there's no nice to meet you. So yes, I mean, I think there's so much around all of this that we could break into a wonderful conversation on.
And thank you. And I think as another part of that, going a little bit further, is after I meet you, if you introduce yourself as Philip and I say, hey, Phil, is that appropriate?
Never shorten anyone's name. I think people take their name very seriously, and again, you can help people out saying my name is Philip, but I don't mind being called Phil or whatever. But if you I know, I mean, for example, my sister-in-law, her daughter's Molly Ann. If you call her Molly, my sister-in-law's, it's Molly Ann. And it isn't, in my opinion, it's not appropriate just to shorten people's names. It's appropriate to say, how would you like me to address you, or how would you like me? How do you like to be known as, or who do you like to be known as? And imagine I said, hey, Dr. Jack, how are you doing today? Well, where did that come from? It's just not appropriate, right? And you remember when I first met you, I said, how do you like to be addressed? And it's very important. It's a huge sign of respect.
I agree with you. I can't tell you how, and I'm working on it. I'm doing the 6 second rule when someone says, or they come on the show. Obviously, Dr. Jacalyn is my brand, right? And I've got my doctorate and worked hard to get it. People will come on and they'll call me Jackie, and I'm immediately offended because I'm Dr. Jacalyn. Unless I tell you, you can call me Jackie. A small handful of people call me Jackie. I was Jackie growing up. And then when I got in the corporate world, Jacalyn, because my name is Jacalyn. And I don't really like being called Jackie, but sometimes people just go there. And so I just accept it.
You can accept it, but you can also say, growing up, that was a lot of people refer to me, but my professional name is Dr. Jacalyn. So I'd really love it if you wouldn't mind calling me Dr. Jacalyn, because everyone here knows me as Dr. Jacalyn. No one would know if you said, hey, Jackie, how are you? So just, I think tonality is one. We teach things such as polished language skills or language of a professional. And you can literally you can tell someone to get out of your life and make them look forward to the journey just through your tonality and the choice of words. You could literally tell someone to disappear and make them look forward to that journey because you've been so diplomatic and tactful in your approach. So I think it's clear that, again, I'll go back to my sister-in-law. I'll never forget, her name's Claire. And we were introducing her to a couple of friends. And someone said, hey, Claire Bear. Tell you what, it was just all guns came out blazing. I'm not Claire Bear. My name is Claire. And so she was very boom, but she maybe could have done it in a softer sort of way. But she didn't suffer fools on that one at all lightly. But people's names are important, and I think that's where you can build up such a nice connection. We talk about in our social etiquette and how to remember people's names, how to connect with people on their name, on the name front and the namesake. And this is a hugely powerful way to connect, because so many of us meet people for the first time and it's hello Philip, hello Dr. Jacalyn, and then we start talking and I'm going, shucks, what's this person's name? And you can see the awkwardness. So be present when you introduce yourself to someone. Get to know the person's name. Ask them about their name. Ask them how they like to be addressed. Ask them how do they spell their name. Bring their name into the conversation on a regular basis. You can do association as well. So there's some wonderful tools out there to help you to become more dynamic and better. And always put out there, or any of you who say, oh, I'm shocking with names, I'm terrible with names, start to say, I'm going to get better at names. I'm going to really make an effort to get to connect with people on their name and the namesake in front. Because don't forget, we never say, goodbye, everyone. Don't forget me. My name's Philip. We never do that. And it would be odd if you did. So names and that sort of thing, and also being very aware that if someone has forgotten your name, drop in a little hint. Tell her a funny little story about, when I was growing up, my mum used to say, Philip, if you don't eat all your vegetables, you're not going to grow up to be a big, strong boy. So I dropped the name in so that people go, whew, thank goodness he reminded us of his name. So it's about, this is situational awareness. This is about putting people at ease and making people feel comfortable.
I love that, because you're imagining how the other person must feel. And so you're helping them out. You're being kind. You're doing something that's gracious, that doesn't cost you any money. We have Philip Chan. Hi, Philip. Yes, good point, and great tips to remember people's name. Brilliant. We have so many. You and I could stay here all day, I'm sure, because I have so much I can learn from you. One thing I want to go back to my notes, and I wrote down, I thought you said that you start with children as young as 5.5 to 6 years of age, learning etiquette and manners. I'd love that.
It's wonderful. We have a brand called Etiquette. It's a trademark brand, Etiquette. And we start with the most wonderful material, and we get inclusion right from the word go. And it's just such an amazing transformation. We run that over 4 one-hour sessions through Zoom, and we connect for all time zones around the world as well. We also have an e-learning children etiquette course that you can download off the internet for a very nominal fee, which will become yours for life. So that's the Etiquette. And then we transition into the power of the pen. So beautiful, amazing handwriting, which for me, it's that attention to detail. So the power of the pen is another one of our brands, and we move and we progress. From there, we move to mindset and manners, which is for teenagers. So we work a lot, obviously, on mindset, growth mindset, helping teenagers understand the importance and the power of etiquette and manners, how to connect with people, how to interview correctly, how to present yourself, and all the finite material that we share with them to give them this confidence and help them, put their best foot forward.
I think the idea of teaching people manners from a very young age is just phenomenal, because imagine how we would be as a person if we knew how to treat ourselves and other people from a very young age, instead of waiting until we have all these bad habits that we then have to undo.
Well, it takes 63 days, Dr. Jacalyn, to break a habit. So, if you've got bad habits, you're going to be at it a long time. But, I think anyone who wants to challenge themselves is such a wonderful thing to do. But you're so right. I think, it's the same as when I'm very blessed. I've got a little man in my life who's going to be 7 on Sunday. And I look at this little character, and if I kept reprimanding him and using the word no on a regular basis, it's not going to make he will just be, very cautious and conscious around me, and I'm walking on eggshells, even though I'm his dad. But everything is with patience and consistency and making fun out of these things, make everything a game. And I get magic happening with this little chap. He's a 7-year-old. He's obviously going to test the boundaries, which is wonderful. He's not an angel, no stretch of the imagination. But, for example, with table manners, if he starts to talk with food in his mouth, I'll go, Angel, Harley. And he goes, and it becomes a little bit of a joke. So I go, and we start to have a bit of rapport on that front. And it's just consistency. It's so important that I think a lot of us are so quick to say, no, you can't do this. Absolutely not. And that immediately is going to squash someone's mindset and mentality. And if I may, I'd love to read something to you before I know we sort of got time constraint here. But this is something, and for me, it's a really hugely beautifully written poem by Dorothy Law Nolte. If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with fear, he learns to be apprehensive. If a child lives with pity, he learns to feel sorry for himself. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with jealousy, he learns what envy is. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns to be confident. If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with praise, he learns to be appreciative. If a child lives with acceptance, he learns to love. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with recognition, he learns that it is good to have a goal. If a child lives with sharing, he learns about generosity. If a child lives with honesty and fairness, he lives what truth and justice are. If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith in himself and in those about him. If a child lives with friendliness, he learns that the world is a nice place in which to live. He learns to love. If you live with serenity, your child will live with peace of mind. And that for me really ticks and hits home on every sense of the word in that beautifully put together poem called Children Learn What They Live.
That was really touching. Thank you for sharing that. I found myself getting rather emotional listening to those words.
It's extraordinary and so true. It's beautiful. It's just so true. So for all of you out there who've got children, yes, they play up, but get onto their wavelength. Understanding they're only children. We the adults here, there's no sat nav to guide us. No, there isn't. But by using your beautiful etiquette and manners and your patience and the 6-second rule, there are times when you have to read the riot act, of course. But just go slowly. Just understand. Do it from a gentle, consistent, wonderful way, and repetition is an amazing thing. So try and eliminate the negativity, the no's, you can't have that, you're useless, you're bad, because unfortunately that's why so many people grow up with the first part of what I read on this particular poem.
Someone said to me once, it's just as easy to say yes as it is to say no.
Absolutely. No, it's so true.
One comment I want to make, I think your website is brilliant. There's so much content there and something for everyone. So I encourage people to go to the British School of Etiquette.com, look through the coursework, that it's all online, and sign up for something so that you can start to feel confident in your brand and how you're presenting yourself to the world, and even your EQ, and learning about manners and etiquette and why they're so important.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much, Philip. It's been a real pleasure having you here, and I hope you'll come back every week. I'm just putting it out there. I'd love to have you come back every week, whatever works for your schedule.
Thank you. I love that opportunity, and I really genuinely will take you up on the offer, because it's just a joy like you, Dr. Jacalyn, big respect to you and all that you do, because you're a workhorse, and you are incredible at just doing what you do. You're amazing in every sense of the word, and what you've achieved in thus far in your life, and what I know what you still want to achieve is just phenomenal. And your generosity, your kindness, and everything that you do is just, I think hopefully no one ever takes that for granted, and people receive that with the way you absolutely deliver everything.
Thank you. That's so nice. I appreciate it. We have another comment from Philip. Hi, Philip. Brilliant. Absolutely. Yes. I just love everything about you. Your demeanor, your knowledge, your intellect, the way you dress, the way you present. There's just so much more that I want to learn from you. So thank you again for being here, and we'll look forward to your next booking.
Super. And wishing everyone out there the most wonderful weekend. Get rid of negative people in your life. Surround yourself with very positive people. Surround yourself with people that are better than you, and really elevate yourself, because this is what I've been able to do in my life. And I genuinely walk the walk and talk the talk. And I love working, laughing, and engaging and helping as many people as possible. So a big virtual hug to every single one of you out there. And I'm so looking forward to the next time I have the opportunity to connect with all of you. Dr. Jacalyn, as always, thank you. And again, thank you to all the people who've supported me in getting on my journey to where we are today as an organization. But not only on the journey of having the privilege of meeting you, Dr. Jacalyn, as well. They're an amazing group of people out there who've really instigated this opportunity. And again, I think out there, everyone, rather than say no, learn to say yes, because you just never know what's around the corner. And take life with both hands, embrace it.
Don't let your fear keep you back from something that could be life-changing. I think that's so. Thank you again for being here. I want to thank Ian Pelham Turner and also Philip Chan and Helena Char, because that's how we were brought together. So, and I also want to thank the people at Clubhouse. I'm not a paid sponsor, but that's how I met Ben Shai. That's how I met Ian, and so on and so forth. And that's how I met you. So if you're not on Clubhouse, drop in and meet some people, network, learn a few things. So I'm just going to close out the show. Philip, thank you again. I look forward to having you back next time.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, and lovely, and God bless. Godspeed.
Thank you. God bless you as well. Bye. Wow, that was amazing. He taught us so much. If you happen to miss the beginning of Philip's lesson, please head over to our YouTube channel, Dr. Jacalyn LLC. Subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And you can watch all of our shows there. I'm going to give the list of shows that are coming up today. We have 5 more shows. The first one is coming up at the top of the hour, and that is fashion, fitness, travel, and leisure. And my co-host is Diane Floyd Bain, and our guest is Emma Poors. We have another show at 1:30, and that show is I Have a Story to Tell. And our guest is Esther Brzezinski. At 3:30, we have presenting pet psychic Amina. Amina is my co-host, but today she will be my guest. I will be interviewing her. People are always asking her about her journey as a pet psychic, and when did she realize it, and did she have to take any classes, and can they become a pet psychic? So we're going to hear her story. At 5 o'clock, we have Stories of Hope, Inspiration, and Overcoming Adversity. And that is a program that's the first program I started with. And I really started it because of my connection with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. I've been a patient with ulcerative colitis since 1991. And I know I've definitely suffered in pain and shame, and I know other people have felt the same way. So I wanted to have a platform where people could come and share their story, and so it just grew from there. So I'll always be grateful to having that show and my connection with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Our guest is Kay Reeve, and again, that's at 5. And at 6 o'clock, we have the Variety Show with my co-host Lori Mendelson, and our guest is Karen Yusu. So it's a full packed day. So check me out at 7 o'clock. Will I still be standing or will I be sitting? I'm going to try to stand. One more thing I want to share. If you want to be on our program, you just saw Philip's incredible presentation. The man is highly skilled as a presenter, obviously extremely intelligent. He's doing amazing things in the world of etiquette and manners, from grooming young children all the way up to I'm going to be taking a course. I need to check in and just make sure that I'm on top of everything, because I always like to grow. But if you'd like to be on our program, we'd love to have you. All you have to do is go to abetteryou.tv. and you can sign up and book your session. And what we're doing on this program is, like you just saw with Philip, he presented a 15-minute lesson, and I'll be circling back with him to ask him to put together a 5-question quiz. So we'll take the lesson and the quiz, and we'll put it up on our learning platform, A Better You, which we're launching at the end of June. And then the lesson will be part of a playlist. We're looking for 10 lessons that equate to a playlist. And of course, each lesson has a quiz. You can go onto the platform, watch the lesson, and again, they're short bite-sized learning, so you can watch it from your phone, any of your mobile devices, or your laptop. Take the quiz, and then you can get a certification. You can get a certification, you can play games. Our platform is very dynamic, so it's meant to keep you engaged. Obviously, we want to keep you on the platform as long as possible, and we will be rolling out a reward and recognition program with that. So that being said, thank you so much. My book is coming out. Yay! Launching it June 17th in honor of my mother and her birthday. So it's called Behind the Green Screen, a little visual here, How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. This is a how-to book. I created this platform, as I mentioned, with one show, no experience, and that was in August of 2020, just last year. And since then, I've learned how to produce, direct, and broadcast us over all the platforms. So I'm giving you my tips of how I did it. You can do the same thing. And the book is also a combination of my personal stories, some of them, because we have more books coming, of how and why I left the corporate world last year during the pandemic and found my passion in broadcasting. So look for that June 17th on Amazon. Will be pre-selling later this month. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. We'll look forward to seeing you right around the corner. And that's a wrap for today.